Good evening. Welcome to the May 6, 2014 Joliet City Council meeting. Mayor Thomas Durrani presiding. Please join us in the invocation led by Pastor Jim Arnold from First Assembly of God, and please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we thank you that you love us and care for us. We pray for your blessing upon our city. We pray for blessings of peace, safety, prosperity, provision, and unity. We pray, Lord, that you will restore hope where perhaps it has been lost and give dreams. We pray for the personal lives of all those who serve us. Pray for all of these leaders here tonight, that you will bless them and guide them and help them. For all those who serve in public safety, our firemen, our police, our EMTs, that you'll guard them and watch over them. Bless this time tonight, this meeting, and give your wisdom and guidance. Amen. Amen. Join us in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor.
Start with roll call. Mayor Durrani.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Girl.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman McFarland.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Odekirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
First is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following changes? Table Council Memo 166-14, the annexation of 1913 South Briggs Street, and also table Council Memo 209-14, award a contract for the 2014 sidewalk curb replacement project.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Odekirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Next is council committee reports. First is baseball committee report.
The baseball committee, consisting of myself, Councilwoman Quillman, and Councilman Morris, met with the owners of the Slammers, and we discussed ticket sales, concession prices, a new deck they have, and menu changes. Ticket sales are pretty much the same. The suite, they made some changes with the menu. It used to be before, if you went to the suite, you had to order 6 of these or 6 of those. Now you can order individually. They changed their menu quite a bit. They added some things and dropped some things. They are going to handle the food this year themselves. So they are hiring all the workers. They also have a deck or a beer garden out in left field that will hold 200 people that you can rent for parties, etc. It's $38 a person, and for that you get about 2.5 hours of food, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, pulled pork, and 5 beers. And that's about a bit. Jan, you have anything to add?
No, I just think that the citizens are going to be pleasantly surprised at the new ballpark amenities that they're going to have and all the activities, but the best thing about it will be the food prices will be much more reasonable for everyone.
Councilman Morris?
No, just have a good appetite. We got a wonderful menu this year.
Thank you.
CTIS committee report.
CTIS committee, we didn't have a quorum, but we met on April 24th. I met with staff, and we discussed the IT service contracts, and it's on the agenda for this evening, item number 2014. 14 for the, and we recommended the approval of the budget. We couldn't recommend it because we couldn't vote, but it's recommend that we do approve the $550K budget for IT, so that's up to this council. We talked about email archiving, which was discussed yesterday at the pre-council workshop, and that's item number 21514 for a budget of $40K for that email archiving to put us in compliance. And then discussion was also about the IT security policies, and going to be no cost for that, and IT is going to meet with security and the department heads so they can roll out some new policies by August so that there's no breach of anything in our security system as far as emailing goes. And that concludes my report.
Land Use and Legislative Committee report.
Yes, we met on Thursday, May 1st. The Land Use and Legislative Committee that consists of myself and Councilman McFarland. Also present was Mayor Girani, City Manager, and City Attorney Plyman was also present, as well as Councilwoman Gavin was also present, who will be welcoming to our committee. We discussed the change to the code for the ordinance of the regulation of weeds. The was added more clarity to the ordinance, and the compliance will stay the same, so it wasn't any changes there. We also was given a presentation by VOA concerning the Veterans Project for the Silver Cross property, which we was glad for them to come back, and I believe we'll be looking at that this evening. Also, what else did we do, Jim? Oh, we was also given a presentation by a company that will be allowing for medical cannabis here in Joliet. They will be applying to the state for a license for that. They were just kind of getting the ducks in a row with getting the proper permits from the city. So that will be coming back before the city for the medical cannabis dispensary. We also discussed the use and agreement also for some language clarity on the outdoor LLC signs, the video panels, advertising throughout the city. And we had some discussion on that, and that too, I guess, will be discussed in a little more entirety later. Again, that was the language for the agreement that the company has with different businesses that would like to advertise on the video panels. And I think that was pretty much it. Did I miss anything, Jim?
No. I just think under new business tonight, maybe we could talk about the impact signs and the request to advertise concealed carry. I don't know if, Jim, you want to get into that, or later on in the council meeting,
Well,
we can maybe address that, or
No, the
next
plan was
meeting?
to put that on the, as new business under the next agenda so that everybody could have the language of the agreement in front of them, because we don't have it tonight.
Okay.
Public Service Committee report.
Your Honor, the Public Service Committee comprised of Councilman McFarland and myself met yesterday at 4:30 in the afternoon. Our new member will be Councilwoman Gavin. And Betty, we usually meet at 4:30 on the day of the pre-council meeting. If that creates a problem for you, let us know. We'll make accommodations, or we'll work that out, whatever time works best for you, so.
Yes, sir, we'll make that happen.
Okay. We reviewed the contracts, change orders, pay estimates, found them all to be in order. As the city clerk mentioned, we did table the 2014 sidewalk curb replacement project for 2 weeks to get more information. Apologize, Krista, I didn't call you earlier, I meant to, but I'm glad you picked it up, so. The other 2 items we just had discussion on was the Hickory and Spring Creek Flood Control Project and proposed Pilcher Park Dam removal. The city's involvement, the Park District's involvement, it's a complicated project, and we're just gathering information on it. Also reviewed the out-of-service fire hydrant status. There are 8,460 fire hydrants in the city of Joliet. There's 109 that are inoperable. Staff has information on those 109 and are making arrangements to get those repaired. As they're tested, they find out which ones are operative and which aren't, so that there'll be a continuing list every 1 or 2 years. In talking to the fire chief, Joe Formals, he informed us that public safety is not at risk, that there are 3 trucks that carries a 1,000 gallons of water apiece that responds to the fire, and if a fire hydrant is out of service, that there's plenty of hose to go to the next, hook up to the next fire hydrant, and the truck with the water on it can fight in the meantime. So, Chief, do you have anything else to add to that? Okay, thank you. And that's it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I show no other reports. Mayor, we did receive a request for a citizen to address the council
Okay.
this evening.
Is there,
Kevin Gauger?
is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Kevin?
City Councilman and Mayor, I appreciate the time that you're giving me here. I just wanted to address you quickly. I know that I had sent several of you emails last week regarding the issues that I'm going to be talking about. I unfortunately woke up last week to the sound of a construction fence going up next to my property, and was surprised as to what was going on with the property next door. And when I began doing my research and trying to reach through to the city of Joliet, last week I had a hard time getting through to anybody. I had left voicemails without any return. And then, so I started doing my own research through the city's website. I was able to find that apparently the property had been annexed and rezoned without my notification or knowing. And so basically, what I did is I actually started going around to my neighbors that are within the 300-foot area that would be within that 300-foot notification area. And the majority of my neighbors said that they didn't receive any information regarding a meeting or a hearing, and that they weren't sure, what was going on with the property. And several of my neighbors, the only way they found out what was going on from the property was either from the information that I found on the city's website, or just from talking to the guy that was actually putting the construction fence up to find out what's going in there and what had happened. So I obviously had concerns that, myself and my neighbors weren't notified of what was going on, and didn't have the opportunity to get in front of you to voice our concerns about the location and the development that was planned for that location. Like I said, just from looking, the property is right next door to me, so I can guarantee you I'm within 300 feet of that property. And according to what I was told from the city of Joliet, I should have received notification, but for whatever reason I didn't. And I'm not sure if that was because it wasn't a certified mailing and maybe the letters were lost. But I was made aware by a couple of my neighbors that actually did say they received a mailing, that it was just a regular letter that was sent. And there was only, like I said, I could count on one hand how many people actually told me they received the mailing regarding the council meetings. The other thing was when I was doing my research, I also realized that according to what's said in the website and the developer's handbook available on the City of Joliet's website, on page 48 of the handbook, it states that the way that the property is laid out, at least from my interpretation, is that there should have been a sign posted on all three sides of that property because it's surrounded by streets on all sides. Just to notify the local residents of what's going on and what's, that there's going to be a meeting that they might need to be aware of. And like I said, I never saw anything. I live right next door to the property. I talked to several other my neighbors, and they didn't see anything either. I did have one neighbor say that they did think that they saw one posting out towards the intersection of Division and Essington, and that sign, they said they weren't able to read it from the street, and that like a day or two later that the sign was laying on the ground and had fallen over. So they're not even sure if that was it, but I'm assuming that that's the sign that the City of Joliet saying was posted. So I'm concerned that this had been passed and approved without my subdivision's residents' knowledge, and didn't really have their opportunity to voice their opposition to it. Like I said, there's so many different issues that I'm concerned with, from the traffic to the lighting to this actual building facing directly into my subdivision and directly at one of my neighbors' homes, that they're going to be looking out their front window into a commercial building with lighting and signage facing right into their house and across the street into my property. And so basically, I just ask that you would consider and see if there's anything that we can do to be able to get in front of you and at least be able to voice our concerns regarding this property. And like I said, at this point, I'm not sure what can be done, or what I'm able to do, but I just wanted to at least be able to get in front of you and speak my concerns and obvious opposition to this development.
Kevin, thank you. I got your email and I responded because I think it was 4:30 Friday afternoon I got your email, and I did respond to Jim Heller. Jim, either one of you want to address this for
Well,
Mr. Cobb?
certainly our zoning ordinance has certain criteria that's established, certain responsibilities by the developer, and it is our responsibility as city staff to make sure that the developer is following those obligations that are set forth as his obligation to notify the neighbors, to send out certified mail, to keep any undelivered certified mail that comes back as undeliverable, to make sure the signs go up and stay up. And as far as I know, Mr. Heller informed Mr. Cowher that we did not receive any undelivered certified mail, that the developer didn't. And yes, maybe the sign did blow down. It was in the middle of our wonderful winter that we had, but staff can be more vigilant to make sure that signs are viewed from all streets on all sides, and make sure that neighbors are notified. We do put information up on our website, and this has been the process that has worked for the city in the past, and moving forward, we'll just have to be more vigilant that everything is according to our ordinance requirements.
Mayor.
Wait a minute, see if Kevin's got a response, or
What's that?
you want to respond to that, or?
Well, I understand, and I feel I'm glad that going forward that you're gonna try and make sure that the signs are posted for residents to see and in future cases, so that this doesn't happen to other residents going forward. But I'd really hope that there'd be something that we could do, in this current circumstance, because the property hasn't been developed yet, and they have not moved forward with that procedure, that because they didn't follow proper proceedings and they didn't follow the proper postings, and that it states that they're the ones responsible for posting the signs and for paying the fees to the city of Joliet, that because they didn't post that, it quotes, I can quote in there that it says, failure to post sign is required may result in a deferral of action on or the denial of the application petition. And that directly is quoted from the City of Joliet's website and the handbook. And so I don't see, because they didn't follow proper procedures, obviously you weren't aware of that when it came across and was voted on here, but that doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it, to where you shouldn't be able to do anything about it going forward, now that you know that signs weren't properly posted and that residents weren't properly notified. And I think that, a regular letter mailing isn't going to be appropriate for a situation like this, that you need to send stuff certified,
That's what they're supposed to
so
do.
that way they can show proof that the residents did receive the mailings and are aware of the council meetings that are going to be happening in their regard. And I asked Jim regarding the mailings. I said, well, how come they're not certified, so that we can make sure that all the residents within that area is being notified? And he said it was due to an expense issue, and that the city of Joliet, it was an expense that they did not want to incur. And when I, asked him further about why we can't pass that fee off to the applicant, of whoever's trying to either rezone a property or annex into the city of Joliet, why we can't pass that fee along to them as part of the application fee. And he said it was because they wanted to try and keep the fees low for businesses, to help, obviously, businesses, get into the city of Joliet. And I think that, that to me makes me feel like, the city of Joliet's more concerned over businesses and not the actual residents or neighboring, communities. And that worries me because I'm a longtime citizen of the city of Joliet up until I had moved into the subdivision. And, it's upsetting to think that that would be the stance that the city of Joliet would take on this.
Let me ask Jim Haller, does the zoning ordinance require certified notification to those within 300 feet?
No. What normally happens in the state of Illinois, our only notice procedure that's required is publication in a general circulation newspaper, which is the Herald News. And as Mr. Cowger admitted, people did see it from his subdivision, did see the ad in the paper. As a courtesy, what we've adopted over the years is policy, and the policy is that we post the signs, that we send the 300-foot notices out. And again, we fine-tuned that in certain circumstances where we've gone out as far as 1,000 foot. And sometimes the reason that we don't do it certified is because there's sometimes been hundreds of notifications that we sent out at one time, and it would be in the thousands and thousands of dollars that the notification process would be required if we sent it out certified. So what we've done over the last, 15 years or so, is we just send out general mail, and if we get one back undeliverable, we keep it in the file and try to do notice in other ways in other directions. And again, I apologize. Normally what we do when we do the notification sign, we put it on the most heavily trafficked part of the property, and in this case that was the frontage that faced Division Street, and that's where the sign went up. No, we didn't put it on the other two signs. And a couple of corrections, Mr. Cowger lives across the street from this project, not next to him. And secondly, one of the things that we did do on this project, we tried to take the adjoining neighbors into consideration. We had them site the building as close to Division Street and the Route 30 intersection as possible. And like I told him in the conversation we had this morning, is the building is going to front that intersection. But yes, the parking will be on the sides and in the rear, and the main entrance to the building will be in the back. In addition to that, they're going to put up a stockade fence on the two sides in back of the tree line that we've required them to keep. So we felt that this property, it's a very unique shaped piece of property, that we did everything we could to minimize the impact of this commercial operation. And again, too, over the years, we've had several people that have sought to develop this commercially, and a lot of times would have a request that would be more intense than this mattress store use. The mattress store use seemed to be the least objectionable of all of the requests that we've had. And the other thing that I told Mr. Cowger, and especially I reiterated it in the email that I sent to him, is this property has been for sale for at least 10 or 15 or 20 years. The current owner of the property has had it in, and no one had any interest in developing it as residential. And we have had people interested in commercial over the years, and this seemed to be the least impact of all of the requests that we've ever entertained over the course of the last 10 or so years. And we brought it to you. We sent the notices out. We got none back. The developer sent out certified letters to all the surrounding owners. He got none back. So we felt that we followed the proper procedure, and I apologize to the neighbors that didn't get notice. That's not our intent. Our intent is not to hide anything. Our intent is not to do something without people getting notification of it. And I have no explanation on why they didn't receive notice. I do know that we did get one person who objected, not necessarily for the project, more for the traffic in front. And then also at the public hearing, after the meeting was over with, there were two gentlemen that were here on the case, and I talked to both of them. And again, they were also more concerned about not traffic specifically to this project, but traffic in the area in general, but really didn't have much comment about this particular project. So there were people in his subdivision, his neighbors that did attend, that were there, and I did talk to some of them.
Although we've already approved this, we'd be more than happy to meet with Mr. Cowger and any other neighbor who wants to take a look at the conditions that council established in order to approve and allow this use. And if there's anything in addition that they're concerned about, we'll meet with the developer and talk about those concerns and see if we can't get them addressed.
Thanks. Jan?
Just two things. Jim, did you say there were 3 signs out there or just the one?
One.
Okay, so but do we not require the 3 to be out there?
Well, in this particular circumstance, the back two perimeters are overgrown tree line. The signs probably would have been lost in translation. Again, you try to put the signs in the most obvious spot has been our policy. In this particular case, I now feel like that was wrong. We probably should have put them on all street frontages, but
Because there's
again,
a lot of signs on that highway traffic. There's for sale signs, there's
Yeah.
real estate signs. So it probably got lost with all those other signs out there.
But again, too, on the back side of the property, like I say, there's a heavily, there's a kind of a heavy tree line on both sides on the two perimeters. It's a triangular piece, so we put it on the widest, most obvious street frontage, and we did not put them on the two with the tree lines on either side.
And the other thing is, I've had several conversations with Mr. Cowger over the last couple of days. And, he did tell me he'd got a certified letter back in November stating that something was going to happen to the property, but there was no plan or what was going to happen. So as a neighbor and the other folks that did get that initial certified letter didn't hear anything else from us or the city. A lot of people don't read the Herald News, and like you said, the sign got lost, so I can see how these folks would have missed it. But my question here today to this council is, rather than depend on the developers to notify the neighbors, why don't we send the letters out and then charge them, so that way we can make sure that they get out there and we can keep track of who gets the letter and who doesn't? Because my conversation earlier with our city manager was, he called to the gentleman for the certified letter list, and of course he threw it out. So we don't know
Yeah, but
what happened there.
in this case, though, he sent them out, and again, that's one of the things we require of all developers before they even come in and start the application process. We always strongly encourage them to go out and reach out to the adjoining neighbors. In this case, they did do that. They did it via certified letter. And also, Mr. Ubelar went door to door and talked to several of the neighbors. And again, that was back in the November timeframe. When they made application, we take their money for filing fee, but my staff are the ones who prepare the letters, send the letters out.
Oh, you
But
do that?
yes, we
Because you
do
kept
the
saying
letters.
the developers sent them out. I
No,
misunderstood you.
He
Okay.
did the first mailing, we did the second mailing. No, we do not do them certified, and we got none back. None came back as undeliverable. And when they do come back as undeliverable, the planner will try to make an attempt to contact the people. They put acknowledgement in the file that this one was not delivered, that this person at this address did not get a letter. They make a notation of it. In this case, we've got none back.
So at this point, I guess, Council Plyman, we have no recourse because it's already passed, correct?
Well, the property has been annexed and zoned, and that was final action taken by the city. We do not have the legal authority to disannex it, or I guess we always have the authority to rezone property, but that affects the rights of the property owner. It appears that the legal process for annexation and zoning was followed. It also seems as if the developer provided additional courtesy notices by certified mail. That's over and above what we require. It seems like some people that should have got them or have an interest in the project for some reason didn't receive it. And that's impossible to explain. It's the mail system, I guess. I don't see a legal basis for the city to take away the entitlements we've already given to the developer. And it's likely, although I don't know for sure in this particular case, that based on what we approved, there might have been the closing of a land conveyance, closing of a loan or other financing. And so people have now relied on what we've done and transferred and sold properties and taken on debt. And, so it'd be very, very difficult on a developer for us to go down that road. I think the best we probably can do here is a couple of things. One is get more information to the people affected, which is essentially involve them in the public hearing that they missed. And we held 2 public hearings on this already. We had the Plan Commission public hearing, then the City Council public hearing. And then, there are some things that probably can't be addressed. The fact that there will be additional commercial where before there was a vacant lot, I don't know that that can be dealt with, but the configuration, we can sort through all that. as the city manager suggested, and make sure that you know everything you need to know about the development, the developer, how it's going to operate, how the finished product will look, how it will relate with your neighborhood and the streets on your block, and just make sure it's the highest quality product that we can. Because in many respects, the horse is out of the barn.
And just one more question. You have some neighbors here. Did they all get the letter that you received, the initial letter, or any letters after that?
Some of them have. I don't know if you want to hear from them or not. I know some of them did receive the letters, and some of them did not receive the letters. And I also have a petition. I went around to all my neighbors except for 2 that were not home within that 300-foot area and spoke to the majority of my neighbors. I have a petition signed by everybody that they're against this property and that the majority of them did not know anything about the council meetings and didn't have their, opportunity to voice their concerns to the council or to the city before this was done. And like I said, I can provide you with a copy of that petition signed by all my neighbors stating that, signs weren't properly posted and they didn't know about the meetings to attend.
Kevin, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, how this is going to operate. People are going to go in and buy mattresses. They're not going to be delivered out of that site. They will be delivered out of a site somewhere else. So all they're going to do is people are going to go in, buy a mattress. There's not going to be trucks coming and going. That's all there is to it. So you're not going to get a lot of deliveries, et cetera, unless they get a new product and that's brought in.
Yep.
But they're not going to deliver the mattresses out of that site. It's going to go to wherever their home site is, and I'm not even
Mr.
sure.
Mayor, that's correct. There are delivery warehouses out of Romeoville, and this is a showroom only. And the only time they'll ever get truck delivery would be by small van when they got a new model of mattress that they would be selling. Again, that was another reason why we went forward with this project. Very low impact considering other potential commercial developments that could go at this site. And that was one of the things that was taken into consideration is for the development of this property. And also, just so you know, Mayor and Council, in the email that I sent to Mr. Cowger this morning, I did give him a copy of the staff report with all the site plans in it, the building elevations, the landscaping plan, all of that was in the correspondence that I sent to Mr. Cowger.
Thank you. Jim? Sure.
I'd just like clarification on the location that we're discussing here.
This is the,
And when we exactly approve this.
this is the triangular piece of property. When you take Essington Road, as you're heading toward the Joliet Honda dealership, you come in off of Route 30, and you have to either go right on Division Street or left onto Essington Road. This is the triangular piece of property that you see when you first come into that area. There's a big pine tree in the front, and it's got trees on the 2 back frontages of this. And this was filed back in November, I believe. And again, before they made application, they sent out, the developer followed our request and sent out the certified notice to all the surrounding owners. We went through this. I think everything was posted, like the sign was posted right after the 1st of the year. The notices went out either, I think, the 6th or the 7th of January. The public hearing was in the middle of January. The mayor and city council approved this their second meeting of February.
February 18th.
Yes.
February
18th.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, myself and Mr. Cowger had talked on the phone, and it kind of caught me by surprise, because when it dawned on me it was the project we did back in January, February, I actually did have someone from your neighborhood who had approached me and wanted assurances. Jim, you remember that, assurances on where the main entrance would be? And I think there was some changes made to reassure it would be
Correct.
where it wound up. But by the same token, I know what Mr. Cowger is saying. How do we send out non-certified letters? Okay, so
Yes.
so we require the developer to send out certified letters as the first step?
We strongly encourage him to do it. I suppose if no one's ever refused this, but it's not an actual requirement. We'd say that as a courtesy, as you really should do this, and they do it. We usually get close to 100% compliance. No one's ever not wanted to do it. Sometimes they don't send out notice. Sometimes what they'll do, and you know this, they'll have a neighborhood meeting. They'll find a church or a school or someplace, and the developer will actually have the people in, or have them to an office or someplace close by that, the attorney's office. So we do different things for different projects. In this particular case, The developer felt that it was easiest to just send a letter out to everybody, and that's what started the ball rolling before he even made application to the city.
Now, did, Mr. Cowger, to your knowledge, did everybody receive that original certified letter?
Everybody that I spoke to received that original certified letter. Unfortunately, the letter was prior to anything being put into the city of Joliet, so there was absolutely no information as far as meetings, and it also didn't say what the building was intended for. It didn't give a whole lot of detailed information on it, and so it didn't really give the residents a good starting point, other than the fact that, yes, it was a good thing because it did catch our attention, and since I received that letter, I've been watching that property like a hawk, and I've spoken to several of my neighbors doing the same thing, waiting for an actual official meeting where we could get some real knowledge and be able to speak to you. And unfortunately, that day never came. So, next thing I know, there's a fence pounded in next to my house, and I'm trying to, catch up in the background, saying what happened and what did I miss. And I've watched, like, from what I've realized talking to all my neighbors and the rest of the residents in the area, is that the majority of them are in the same boat as me. And there was very few that actually knew about the meetings and actually went.
Okay, and if I understand, Jeff, there's really not any legal redress or recourse on this matter, but what we can do moving forward at this point is try to lessen the pain, if you will, a little bit by including them further.
Well, I think provide all the homeowners more information than they might have right now, and to address concerns about any inconsistency between the business use and the residential, and also to get to know the developer and make sure the developer understands you have an anxious neighborhood.
Do we, a nice way to put it. Do we have a problem with the not having 3 signs and only having 1? Is that problematic, as Mr. Cowger had indicated?
No, actually, when that proposal was first floated to the Plan Commission and then to the City Council, it was discussed at that time that these informational signs would be notices over and above what the law would require. And there would be cases where it would be very difficult to track the signs if they were knocked down, if they were tampered with, or, if someone was opposed to a project and they wanted to cause a delay or somehow interfere with the approval, you grab the sign disappears, and maybe the project has a legal issue. And so the decision was made back then that it would be an informational sign, not a jurisdictional sign. And that's why the language the gentleman read indicates that if the developer doesn't post the sign properly, the City Council can certainly delay a decision, so table a case, or if the council thought there was some developer misconduct, actually deny a request. But it's not jurisdictional in the sense that it takes away the legal significance or validity of what you do.
And Mr. Cowger, I will personally express my apology for any inconvenience or confusion that may have happened here. I think we're past the point of turning back the clock. Unfortunately, you probably have already figured that out. You and I had discussed some things on that nature. With that said, I certainly want to see them, and thank you, Jeff, for bringing it up, being intensely involved moving forward. And I would like to, on the heels of Councilwoman Quillman's suggestion, just recently I had a neighbor come to my house. They knocked on the door, they had a petition. Of course, they shocked me. They thought it was funny. They said it was a petition to run against me. But anyways...
Did you sign it?
Yes, I did. But they're required, for their block party they want to throw, to physically come to my house and get my signature. And I think we need to explore that on these types of... I understand about the inconvenience to a potential business or developer, but there's no bigger inconvenience than feeling like you're left out from the process, and it's going to change the character of your neighborhood. Even if you had, to be frank, if you had the notice that would have gotten you to the meetings, it may not have changed the vote, but it may have changed the design. And I think they're offering an opportunity here that if there's any changes necessary that might be done, people can work together. But I would suggest we do that, and then that's the old tech way. And in the new tech way, if we have addresses that we are provided with, or that we provide to the developer and ourselves to send certified and uncertified mail, we certainly should have telephone numbers, and maybe even the possibility for emails. Mm-hmm. And we should explore these options moving forward so we don't have another Mr. Carger having to stand here and make the best of the situation. And I would love to be included in any notification to the surrounding properties would be a link to the city website so they can look up the plans as soon as they get notification. You know, we could, I'm sure we can file the PDF, Scott, correct? We could, any of the paperwork from the developers, any of the plans, any of the elevations, we could put that on there as a PDF, right?
We do.
Just yell.
Yes or no?
Yeah, and Jim was just saying that in fact, these are posted on the website now for reference. But yes, any PDF or
Okay.
document like that can be put on the website for anybody to see.
Do we put those in the, do we put that link in the letter to the website?
Well, I'm not familiar with the
No, I mean,
letters, but
Jim would probably answer that.
yeah.
Maybe going forward, we can, you know, because there's gonna be those folks who aren't into the internet. And, you know, and I know it sounds old fashioned, but knocking on the doors, we only go 300 feet. We don't go 1,000 feet or 1,500. We require our own citizens to knock on the doors physically to get permission for a block party. And that's only a temporary change in my neighborhood, just that one night. But I'll be there too, so that's okay. But moving forward, I think maybe we should consider that. When maybe specifically for residential neighborhoods, we should require the developer to actually knock on the doors and come back with the signed notification, petition, whatever you want to call it, so then we know for sure, because it sounds to me like the developer was unable to provide the return receipt on the certifieds, right? They just, if we ask for it now, the list has been thrown away. You know, so if they actually have to do what a block party resident wants to do, then we're going to have that filed for perpetuity. And again, I apologize for any inconvenience or confusion or lack of information, and whatever you need moving forward, I think everybody up here and everybody sitting over there at the staff table will try to help you and the neighbors the best we can.
Mayor, I do have one more question. Do you have a copy of that certified letter of the initial from November?
I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
Sure. If Kevin's done. You through, Kevin?
I found the subdivision that they're.
Wait, I'm asking him if he's through, that's all.
I don't know, you know, like I said, I don't know how much time you guys are giving me. I mean, I do obviously have some other concerns, but I don't know that
Well,
at this point that I can really do.
What the city manager has said, he will meet with residents and hear your concerns, and maybe some of them can be addressed, maybe some of them can't. I'm sure staff will meet with you to hear your concerns. Step up to the podium, please. Step up to the podium, name and address. And is there a motion to allow Mr.
Moved?
William Sitko.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Now, that particular intersection that he's talking about, well, originally it was set up when I first came into the subdivision in 1968, that was going to be a park for the kids. But there was nothing there at the time. Now, Route 30, then you have Essington comes through, okay? Now you got all the intersections with the lighting. And there's a gas station, a Shell gas station on that corner. And when they come through, 16th Street goes one way, Essington goes the other way. Well, it's a catastrophe in the morning. If there are stop signs at 16th and Essington, but there are lights at the other intersections, which go out maybe about once every 2 months. The lights go off, and everybody goes for themselves. Could they put lights on 16th and Essington so that when the snowplow comes down and knock that sign down where all the signs for the particular lot is, when that stop sign went down, it was a crash. It was a total crash scene. Everybody comes around that corner in the morning, and when the signals go down for that train, which runs about 70 miles an hour, then they let the gates up. Everybody goes to the intersection to get out on Route 30. There are no lights. There are no cross members. You're on your own, and they're getting out of the gas station. They're coming through the intersections. All the people in the back come around Essington. 16th Street comes from all the people in the subdivision there. There are no lights in that corner. It would be nice to put some traffic lights up there before he puts that building in, which he's going to have an entrance and an exit out of this particular partial, which used to be Plainfield and used to be our subdivision. When they come out of there, it's going to be a murder. That's all I have to say. You people, you know, you're going to have one big mess coming in that corner. And I should know because I drove trucks for 30 years.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
Okay. Moving back to the agenda, under consent agenda, approval of minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on April 14th and the minutes of the regular meeting held on April 15th, 2014 stand approved as recorded. Council Memo 196-14, regular payroll for March 21st through April 3rd, 2014, $2,998,417.37. It is recommended said regular payroll be approved. Council Memo 197-14, position vacancies. It is recommended the city manager be authorized to fill 4 part-time summer roadway workers positions, 2 firefighter paramedic positions, 1 part-time custodian position, 2 equipment operator 2 positions with subsequent vacancies in the utilities department, 1 maintenance foreman 2 position with subsequent vacancies in the utilities department, and 1 utilities superintendent position with subsequent vacancies. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
Mayor?
Yes.
Jim, I received a couple phone calls today about the maintenance foreman. Whose position was that we're filling?
The maintenance foreman position, this is an outgrowth of a grievance issue that we had with the union where we had agreed, right now there are 2 crews of 5 people and we're going to 3 crews of 4 people. So these, the equipment operator 2 and the maintenance foreman positions will be promotions within the bargaining unit. Then we will come back and ask for 2 maintenance worker positions, which will be new hires and entry-level positions, which will both be part of that new water crew, which will be out there all winter long, like our other 2 crews were this year, working on main replacements and breaks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Fire hydrants.
Yes. Anybody else?
Just, and so we're not creating any new positions then?
This is a new crew. This is a 3rd crew.
We will be creating 2 new positions, but they will be maintenance worker positions. At a subsequent meeting, you'll approve those.
Just those, but what we're doing tonight is, there's no new positions. These are all existing being filled.
No, these are 2 new positions that we're creating so that we can have a 3rd work
Third
crew.
crew.
But because we're taking 5 people on 2 crews and creating 4 people on 3 crews, we're only having 2 brand-new positions. We're promoting 2 people, and then we're going to fill 2 new positions from the outside.
Okay.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 166-14 was previously tabled. Next, under ordinances and resolutions. Under ordinances, Council Memo 199-14. An ordinance approving the revised preliminary plat, an ordinance approving the final plat, and an ordinance approving the recording plat of Cumberland South 40 Subdivision Unit 4. It is recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 200-14, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a 67-unit multifamily supportive living facility for veterans and their families located at the southwest corner of Copperfield Avenue and Hubbard Street. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 201-14, an ordinance amending the regulations pertaining to personal property sales in residential zoning districts. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
I vote aye. I also would commend Lee Rakowski and the Glenwood Manor Association for pushing this through.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
I'd just like to make sure we update the website so we don't get any more emails.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under Resolutions, Council Memo 204-14, a resolution appropriating funds for the 2014 pavement marking program. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under bids and contracts, award of contracts. Council Memo 206-14, award of contract for HVAC maintenance. Council Memo 207-14, approve electric contractor for telephone data system, 2014. Council Memo 208-14, award a contract for the 2014 sewer cleaning and inspection program. Council Memo 209-14 was previously tabled. Council Memo 210-14, award a contract for the 2014 pavement marking program. Council Memo 211-14, award a contract for the Country Club Villa Spencer Road roadway improvements project, 2014. Council Memo 212-14, award a contract for land clearing at the East Side wastewater treatment plant. Council Memo 213-14, award a contract for professional services for the community water supply testing for the Utilities Department. Council Memo 214-14, approve annual contracts for information technology on-site support services. Council Memo 215-14, award contract for email archiving. It is recommended Council Memos 206-14 through 208-14 and 210 through 215-14 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Amendments, change orders, and payments. Council Memo 217-14, approve payment for emergency sewer repair, 2215 West Black Road. Council Memo 218-14, approve change order number 2 and payment number 4 and final for the Black Road Water Treatment Plant backwash discharge pipe and sewer modification project. Council Memo 219-14, approve change order number 2 and payment number 4 and final for the Fairmont and Garvin Water Treatment Plant backwash discharge pipe and sewer modifications project. Council Memo 220-14, approve change order number 1 for emergency traffic control services. Council Memo 221-14, approve change order number 1 and payment request number 4 for the Eastern Avenue, Osgood Street, 2nd Avenue, Sherman Street Water Main Project 2013. It is recommended Council Memos 217 through 221-14 be approved.
So moved.
Second?
Questions?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Licenses and permit applications. Council Memo 222-14, an application for issuance of a Class C liquor license at 1102 Hobart Road, Quick City Mart, Inc. It is recommended said resolution be adopted denying the application for the liquor license.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
So this is to approve the liquor license?
No.
Deny.
It's approved and denied.
Approve the recommendation to deny.
I vote aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, under Mayor Durrani appointments. The mayor is recommending Councilwoman Gavin to the CTIS Committee, Land Use and Legislative Committee, and Public Service Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, under city manager. The city manager has an ADP project update.
I'd like to address you from the podium here this evening so that I can show you our audio visuals do work sometimes. And so, as you recall, back in April, we came to you and told you that the ADP project was not ready to launch as we thought. And so we stabilized our project team, including ADP and our consultant Paytech, with a project manager and our technical staff, Baycor Training, who we're also utilizing for our Munis financial software, and then our internal team. We looked at our scope of changes, and we broke this into two phases. One, our resynchronization, and an implementation phase. The resynchronization completes the project evaluation, stabilizes the application and technology, and we're resetting the implementation plan rather than April 1st. It's been moved forward. We've also reset the training plan and the financial requirements that we reviewed with you. In the meantime, what we've been doing is collaborating with our consultants and getting together with all of our departments to make sure that the complexities are understood. We have a lot of past practices in our payroll and a lot of different contractual obligations, and we want to make sure that they're satisfied and they're working. There are a lot of work rules, base pay calculations, special pays that we have to take a look at, and we want to make sure that this is all synchronized and working before we get to the implementation phase. There are daily team meetings, and they're looking at each one of these issues. They're engaging all of the department heads and talking to each one and making sure that the system is going to work and trying to address their specific concerns. So we have increased that project communication. So all of the staff will be trained. There will be user acceptance testing to make sure that they understand how the new payroll plan is working. And we'll have full parallel synchronization with our old, in other words, our current Ceridian program. We are also looking at an app for your mobile telephone that will allow you to sign in and sign out as an employee rather than using a time clock or getting onto a city computer as well. And at this point, we're looking at a go-live date in September. So we're making great progress, and we're working well together. And then this is a revised schedule that we showed you in terms of what I just reviewed with you, showing our go-live date. Excuse me. Any questions?
Nope.
If not, then we will move on to the executive summary of our strategic plan. As you know, the City of Joliet engaged in the strategic planning process over 3 separate sessions, facilitated by Craig Rapp of the Center of Governmental Studies at Northern Illinois University. And the Mayor and Council met the evenings of February 11th and 12th, and then there was a senior staff meeting on March 17th. And these 3 meetings yielded a draft strategic plan covering the 3-year period of 2014 to 2016. So the process included us asking ourselves 4 key questions. Where are we now? Where are we going? How do we get there? And what will we do to get there? process also included establishing our strategic priorities, which are the highest priorities over the next 3 years, key outcome indicators, which describe these desired outcomes and success measures, and then our strategic initiatives, which define the actions that will take part, which will be taken to ensure this successful effort. We started out by looking at what is our organizational culture. And so there are 4 types of organizational culture. There's a control culture, which is very conservative, clearly defined, a competence culture, very results-oriented, collaborative, being versatile, and a cultivation culture, creativity and socially responsible as well. And then there are 3 value propositions. Operational excellence, meaning we're very efficient, and here's the service we provide, and this is what we provide. The service or product leadership, where they ooh and ah over us, like Google or Apple, and then customer intimacy, Hilton Hotel or Ritz, where we get to know them and solve their personal problems and make sure they're personally satisfied. Prior to our first meeting, council and staff that was participating was surveyed, and as far as the organizational culture, the city council majority thought that we were a control culture, and the staff also agreed that that is our current organizational culture. And when it came to our value proposition, we looked at what are we today and where do we want to be. And you'll see that both the staff and the city council agreed that our current state is operational excellence, but both really want to move towards that customer intimacy model. And I think if you recall, our facilitator, Craig Rapp, said those are 2 areas that are going to be pretty difficult to reconcile and work together. Because on one hand, we say we're going to spend this much, we're going to be very efficient, but then on the other hand, we want to make it personalized for everybody. So there's a lot of work to try and mesh those 2 models together. Pardon me. We also did a SWOT analysis, which is their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats prior to working on our plan. Our strengths are our infrastructure with railways and expressways. Attractive features include our colleges, our diversity, our neighborhood groups, and staff being veterans and dedicated. Weaknesses include labor relations, patronage, financial sustainability, with our maintaining our fund balances, council interaction, making sure that they're cohesive. Our opportunities, again, include our transportation with our streetscapes and our gateways, our commercial development, creating jobs and development, tourism and proximity to Chicago, displaying our cultural assets that we have in the community, improving our financial position, community outreach, engaging citizens, and retaining Joliet as the county seat. Threats to that include economic, the state taxes, gaming laws, pension costs, and the perception that we're an older community, somewhat blighted, and the image that we have to outsiders. As a result of this, council agreed that we have 5 strategic priorities. They include fiscal sustainability, economic development, infrastructure maintenance, community engagement, and operational effectiveness. And there is no prioritizing of any of these strategic priorities. Under fiscal sustainability, the indicator that was established was looking at our operating funds. Our measurement is to make sure we have a reserve balance, and our target is a 60-day operating reserve across all funds. Another indicator was that the general fund, looking at the general fund, that we take a look at our operating costs and make sure they don't increase more than 3% over the next 3 years. Then the strategic initiatives that tie to those key outcome indicators and financial sustainability are to achieve minimum staffing, implement our new financial software, complete the implementation of the ADP software I just spoke about, and also develop a multi-year financial plan. Under economic development, we're focusing on new development and with a goal of increasing construction values by 10% a year over the next 3 years. Under employment, we want quality new jobs and set a goal of 100 new jobs above the current median income for the city. And another area was to establish commercial growth, and the goal there is a corporate office space, getting a regional or corporate headquarters here by 2017. Again, the strategic initiatives to help us in that direction is to develop an incentive strategy, a downtown development strategy, and improve the administration of those internally. Pardon me. Infrastructure maintenance includes our capital assets and funding replacement of those capital assets, including roads, water and sewer, technology, and having a plan for that. Also, city-funded facilities, sustainability plans with funding strategies there, again, on our own facilities. Our fleet maintenance, making sure we've got an inventory established, and then fiber optic connectivity, looking at our downtown city and making sure that all of the downtown is connected by July 1st of 2016. Infrastructure maintenance strategic initiatives are mapping all of our capital assets, conducting an analysis of our facilities, building a system to analyze our fleet, and then also coming up with a plan for fiber optics in our downtown area. Community engagement had the social media indicator, which the point is to improve that, and our target is to get an additional sign-up of all forms of social media platforms within this time period. Now, you'll see in this area, we still have blanks in our percentages because we need to establish a baseline of what we have today first before we can say we want a certain percentage. If there's only one, when you have two, that's 100%. So we need to know what our baseline is before we tie a percentage to that. Again, under citizen engagement, we want to have education programs and make sure that our resident education programs are increased as well. We also want more participation by our residents and make sure that we get input on council agenda items, such as we did this evening, and make sure that they happen pre-decision making as much as possible. And so we will try and increase that percentage of participation as well. How are we going to do that? We're going to implement a multi-platform communication program. We're going to develop a quality of life plan for the East Side residents, also a resident advisory committees in various areas, have town hall meetings in each of our districts, and implement a language access program. Operational effectiveness, we want to make sure we have citizen satisfaction. So we are going to reduce our complaints by 10% a year. Service delivery, our target is to have a minimum service levels in every department defined and adopted by the end of 15. Our operations measurement, we want to audit all of our departments to improve those efficiencies by the end of 16. And then also service delivery, recommending those efficiency levels be adopted by the end of 2016. To obtain those, we're recommending establish a service level management program, also a process optimization program, and a standardized staffing plan for all departments. Now, I want to thank all of you mayor and council and all of the staff who participated in this process, because it's not an easy process. It adds to the daily grind and the dedication that you already have to your jobs here in the community. And because this is presented to you as a draft, we're not done. The next phase is our actual work plan. And so each one of these work plans in each one of the 5 areas, the department directors and myself will be coming back to you over the next two meetings that we have and present to you the actual action plan. Each one of these things will have an action plan, what we're measuring as a success to achieve that action, who's the individual or department that's responsible for each one of these, what is the target date, and then an estimated budget for that. Because this is a 3-year program, when we get done with that, then we will revisit the budget for 2014. Because this is a 3-year strategic plan, some of these will say, okay, in 2015, we estimate you'll have to dedicate $25,000 towards achieving this goal. Or in 2016, you'll have to commit $50,000. So, and that's part of strategic planning. So when we come to budgeting in the fall for 2015, we can say this amount of money is being recommended, as you recall, in our strategic plan. This is going to achieve this objective that will lead to us achieving that overall goal as a community. So with that, again, I want to thank you all for your commitment to this process and move forward and come up with a true work plan that we can all be behind. And we as staff look forward to your feedback to these proposals that we're going to make to you. And we want your help and to refine this into a plan that we all have buy-in into and feel it's the right direction for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is new business, not for final action or recommendation.
Mayor.
Yes.
Jimmy, again, I had complaints again today. I got some phone calls about water main breaks on Kungsway. Obviously, it was a bad winter, and we had water main breaks all over the city. It seems like those blocks at Kungsway may be worse than other areas. The residents told me that the 2 breaks today were 4 breaks in the last month and 5, I think, since the beginning of the year. I know I talked to you about it before, about what the plan will be to redo that street. Has there been any update on that, or have you changed the plan order on when you're going to get out there to fix that?
We've discussed that internally, and we are looking to, short of making the emergency repairs when the water main breaks, we are looking to move that project up for our capital plan for next year to replace the water main on both Bethel and Kungsway.
Yeah, between now and next year, is there anything we could do that we're not doing to ensure that this doesn't keep happening?
When we have the water main exposed, when a break occurs, our staff needs to identify what's happening with the water main. The response we were getting from the field was that there's a corrosive soil right there. So the nature of the breaks, it's making the pipe brittle, and it's blowing out holes in the pipe, which pretty much makes point repairs useless if the pipe you're attaching to is in poor shape. What we'll do in a case like this is, use a little extra TLC when we put the pipe back together, make the repair. Make sure that the pipe is properly bedded. A lot of times,
Jim?
if the backfill material isn't compacted properly, that'll put extra pressure right at that point where the break occurred. And then make sure that we fill it slow and flush it, and we should be able to get through to the following year. a lot of times when a break does occur, if it's a bad break, the extra velocity of the water moving through the pipe at that occurrence will create subsequent breaks elsewhere on that line, and it doesn't become evident until right after the main is put back in service, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing right here.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Next is mayor and council.
I just had one thing. I've had a few questions regarding the downtown parking survey. Could you give us an update on that?
Sure. We've, middle of last week, received the final draft. Staff is reviewing that, and I expect maybe a week from now, we should be able to provide a copy to you and the public.
Thank you.
Next is mayor and council comments.
Mike?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the city of Joliet lost a special person today, and that's retired Public Works employee Jim Hazer, passed away this morning. He was a great employee, a real genuine person, great guy, and served the city very well. So if we could remember him in his prayers, I'd appreciate it.
Councilwoman?
I'd just like to remind everyone that we're having a diversity community relations meeting this Thursday at 4 p.m. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Thank you. Yesterday was my mother's birthday, Mary Odekirk, so Mom, happy birthday. Also, happy Mother's Day to my mother, to all the mothers out there. Councilwoman Gavin, I know you're a mother. Happy Mother's Day. One of the attorneys in my office, Leslie Allred, became a mother 2 weeks ago, so happy Mother's Day to her. And finally, to the mothers of special needs children or children with health problems, happy Mother's Day. My wife, Rebecca, I live with this, and I see what mothers go through. It's hard to explain to people if you haven't lived that life, the ups and downs and the daily grind. And it's just incredible how devoted these women are to their children. I have so much respect for my wife, and I think she's by far the strongest woman I've ever met. So to all those women, please enjoy your Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. And along those lines, this Saturday is opening day for the Miracle League. I know we've talked about it, others on this council have talked about it over the years. The games happen in the field to the north of Silver Cross, right off of Clinton Street. They go on all day long Saturday. They're hour-long games. Every child on the teams get 2 at-bats. So it's a really great function that we provide here in Joliet, not the city, but in our city. And I would recommend anybody, if you haven't seen it, to go out there, show some support for these young men and women and for their families. It really is a nice thing. So, and then enjoy the weather and go Blackhawks.
Councilman Morris?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make an announcement. This is the first annual Parent Expo. It'll be May 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Keith Elementary School, which is on 4th Avenue, 400 4th Avenue. It's our kids, our community, our responsibility. Their mission is to bring local schools and the community together in order to meet the needs of our family. They'll be having several workshops. Some of the topics is single parenting workshop, bullying, parenting your grandchild, summer activities for the kids, and several other workshops. Participating schools is most of the District 86 schools. I'd like to announce the sponsors because all this is free. All the workshop is free due to these sponsors. The District 86, Unity CDC, we have Hope of Hands is one of the sponsors, the National Hookup of Black Women, the Salvation Army. We have a church that, Second Baptist Church is one of the sponsors. They're Jim's Ministry, the Housing Authority of Joliet, as well as the Warren Shop Community Center are sponsors for this event. Again, it's their first annual Parent Expo on May 17th at Keith Elementary School from 10 to 2. So we're asking everyone if you have a chance to stop by. That's all right.
Jim.
Happy Mother's Day. I'm sorry.
Jim?
No comment.
I just want to thank anybody and everybody who came out to the Plainfield School District 202 Foundation for Excellence dinner. Councilman McFarland was there as well, too. For those not familiar, and some school districts have them, Plainfield being one of them, we celebrated 30 years this year with our Foundation for Excellence. It raises money that then pays for continuing education for both the students on scholarship form or for summer schools they go to. We had a number of folks that applied that were doing engineering at MIT for the summer, as well as the teachers, continuing ed for the teachers so they can better serve the students. It feels like deja vu from Councilman Odekirk. It is my mother's birthday today, so happy birthday to my mom. And no, I haven't called her yet, so happy birthday, Mom. And I do want to wish her a happy Mother's Day, and my wife a happy Mother's Day. And I will say, here to your comments on the special needs. My wife is a special ed teacher. I know exactly what you're talking about. Special place in heaven for those that take care of the special needs kids, both mothers and those that support those mothers. And then happy Mother's Day to the rest of Joliet's and our surrounding communities' moms.
I too just want to wish my mother, she's 90, so we're blessed to still have her with us, and my wife a very happy Mother's Day, and all the mothers in our community. So have a great day on Sunday.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to speak to the people who own this seat, and it is the people of the 4th District. I'd like to share some information with you to be able to contact me personally, and I'll give out a telephone number. You can use that number to contact me directly, and of course I have an email address, and I'll shout that email address out as well. That telephone number is 815-616-0710, 815-616-0710. And you can email me at bgavin@jolietcity.org. I'd like to also speak to the neighborhood leaders, the business owners, key stakeholders. Looking forward to meeting with you, setting up some chat and chews, and I want to hear from you. I'll also hang around a little bit this afternoon after the meeting, and so try to get some contact information, and let's sort of get together, let's talk, and let me hear from you. This is your seat that I set. I also would like to wish all of the mothers a happy Mother's Day, and I hope that you're spoiled all day. I'm going to try to get that on my refrigerator magnet that says "spoil me" today. I'll take that. But I do also like to thank all of the supporters and everybody, my colleagues, for the warm welcome to this elite and esteemed body. And all of the staff, thank you so much. The mothers on the Joliet staff, happy Mother's Day to everybody, and God bless you all. Thank you.
I just want to correct a vote I made earlier. In my zeal and excitement to get the VOA Housing Authority approved, I forgot that I actually work for Silver Cross Hospital. Even though I don't have a legal conflict, I did not abstain. And I was talking to council here, and we can't re-vote on it because I made the motion to approve. But I just wanted to put it out there for the record. I got nothing. I have no legal conflict. I always vote no on anything that has silver, but I was excited about this, and I just wanted the message out there that I should have abstained, but I did not. So
We forgive you.
thank you.
Also, I want to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day, including my wife and daughters, daughter-in-laws, et cetera, et cetera. I have a request. I'm a member of the Joliet Area Sports Hall of Fame Committee, and we are going to induct 5 new people in the Joliet Area Sports Hall of Fame. And it happens to be on June 17th, and that's the night of our council meeting. And it is on June 17th because one of the inductees, Terry Gannon, I don't know if you're familiar with him, he does a lot of sports events on TV. That was one of the only days that he would be able to make it. The other ones are Ken Parker, Ed Brady, Matt Seffner, and Brent Wadsworth. I am asking that we conduct all business on Monday the 16th at the pre-council meeting so that I and the rest of this committee can go to the induction of these 5 people. And if there is no objection, we can make that change.
We need a motion?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded to make a combined meeting for June 16th and cancel the regular council meeting on June 17th. Councilman Hug?
Matt Sefner was my high school football coach, so how am I going to say no to the coach? Aye.
Councilman McFarland? Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
You know, I could never hit Terry Gainon's curveball in high school, but I'll vote aye anyway.
Mayor Durrani?
I don't feel like the Lone Ranger. I vote aye.
Motion carried.
That's all I have.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.